Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Last cast of the week from me, guys, before we all go off and do whatever it is we're going to do for the Easter weekend. So it's going to be another Average Joe's. 2 in a row. Don't you feel special? As well you should. So without any more of a to-do, let's head on over to the game zone, which is going to be Canis River 4v4 Special Edition, and see how these guys are going to get on. So all very easy, of course, with the situational places of the teams. We're going to have Team 1 up here, Team 2 down here. Let's take a look at how they stack up. Up here at the top for Team 1 in the red corner, going Fim, we have Chris, and he's going to be partnered by Stoz, going Cybrin in the yellow corner. And then team member number 3 for Team 1 is going to be Robo Danny. He's also going Cybrin in the blue corner. And then the final member of Team 1 also going Cybrin is going to be Ember, and he's going purple. And that brings us to the end of Team 1. That's 2 Cybrins and 2 Seraphim. Down here for Team 2, we've got System 26. He's going a white Cybrin. Next to him, we've got Depon. He's going, I guess, what is that? Kind of tan? He's going tan Cybrin. And member number 3 of Team 2, we get him in the shot. There we go. We've got Sour Patch Kids. Apology for missing a couple of letters in his name there in the table. In the baby blue, also going Cybrin. And the last but not least final member of Team 2 is Sergeant Pepper in the orange corner, also going Cybrin. So an outrageous amount of Cybrin from these two teams. 6 of the 8 players on this map all rocking Cybrin. There must be something in the air. Maybe it's some kind of symbiont virus. Who's to know? So taking a look at what they're all doing, it's all pretty standard. We've got a second air coming out from Robo Danny. Everybody else is sticking to the land hard and fast. We've got Chris over on the left-hand side. He's making a bit of a move towards the river with his ACU. Stoz also looking like he's on the move with his ACU now. And third member down here as well, Ember, is making a move right towards the middle of the map with his ACU. Going to walk forward, pick up perhaps a hydrocarbon. An engineer with him as well, grabbing a couple of mass points as we go. We've got a couple of offensive units on the move here from Sergeant Pepper. 3 hunters heading north at best speed, no doubt on their way to look for some engineer kills. Try and slow down some of the opposing team as best they can. You can see the mass points, or the mass income, sorry, fluctuating as these guys grab all the reclaim they can at the early stages of this game. Lots of power being queued up here at the back for Stoz. He's got a second air factory coming. Perhaps we're going to see some heavy airplay from him. Wonder if these guys have actually set certain rules. Who's going to be devoting most of their time to air, who's going to be devoting most of their time to land and tech and all that kind of business. And we've actually got quite a, what looks like a double comp push happening here from Chris and Stoz as they head south at best speed with their 2 ACUs. And the Seraphim has queued up, who is that? That's Chris, has queued up some land factories, all flanking this mass point to get maximum adjacency bonus from that. We've got some action kicking off up here at the top right, and all those hunters have been beasted by a couple of mantis that were sent out there to protect this engineer, who's happy clappy engineer chappy working on that mass point, completely unaware of the carnage that befell this guy over here. He's emerged victorious though, so no threat from him. And seems as though Team 2 is expanding slightly quicker up this left-hand side than Team 1 is down the right. We've got a few offensive units here from Ember, a couple of FAMs, a Salem. Looking like he's just kind of getting an outer perimeter together forward of his main ACU base. He's getting another land factory down, so lots of Seraphim land spam in place. We've also got an air factory now down for Chris at the back, and one about to go down as well, as we said before, for Stoz. But only one air factory in production at all. No, sorry, so we've got one down and another one in production for Team 2. That's it so far, so slightly further behind in the air race. Looks like Sour Patch Kids is going to be handling all of the air for the moment. trying not to let his team fall behind. Robodani out here to the right, building lots of land factory spam. Ember actually getting lots of adjacency bonus around this hydrocarbon. 1, 2, 3. He's also got an upgrade going on his commander to see what that is going to be. In fact, I'm far too curious. Let's see what that was. It's going to be a T2 engineering suite upgrade. As soon as I say that, he starts production of a T2 power plant. So that's going to give him some nice base tech quite far into the middle of this map. Potentially some early point defense going down, helps seal off that middle section. And if you kind of look at the way this game's progressing, you've got 1, 2, 3 of Team 1's ACUs very much centered around the middle of the map. You've got Sergeant Pepper out here to the right, but everybody else for Team 2 seems to be kind of hovering more around the base, except for Sour Patch Kids, who's way out here to the left. He's building some more land factories, going to get a radar system as well, affording them some nice intel coverage on this left-hand side. But we're actually getting a little bit of a push on the right-hand side from Sergeant Pepper. He's got whole groups of Mantis pushing up around this rock. Could potentially cause some damage if it gets into this rear corner section here. Robodani, who's on an upgrade, could cut off with some reinforcements, although I don't think he's got enough to deal with that many Mantis just yet. Seeing a little bit of engagements kicking off over here between Stoz and Sergeant Pepper. So Sergeant Pepper seems to have Mantis all over the front lines at the moment. As he makes a push up at the top right hand side, he's going to grab a mass point on his way through. There are now some more Mantis up here at the back for Danny. I don't know if it's going to be enough. He's bringing in more reinforcements behind. It's all going to come down to how much damage these forces from Sergeant Pepper manage to do before they get taken out. There's a mass point up here, which would be a pretty good target of priority. Not going to get very far in those factories, I don't suggest. Also got a few Medusas in play as well, but not enough to make a huge difference, I don't think. So what's going on the rest of the field? Over here on the left-hand side, Sour Patch Kids is making a nice little push. He's really hammering the front lines of Kriz. He's got a few FAMs Kriz up on the ridge, coupled with a Zooey or two, but he's managed to get a T2 PD in place, so he must have the engineering suite on his commander. That's going to help him seal off this section. Sergeant Pepper also getting involved with his Mantis that were in the area. And amazingly, after everything I was saying up here, these forces are still alive for Sergeant Pepper, going to pick up both factories and mass point up here at the top right. So that's a nice pickup. Another mass point here as well. You could do with moving those to grab that. But now it is all happening over on the left-hand side. We've got reinforcements coming in from Stoz, and they are going to be enough to beat back the combined forces of Sour Patch Kids and Sergeant Pepper as they promptly run out of units. Also thanks to that T2 PD, of course, always helpful. But now we're getting some action over on the right-hand side. Sergeant Pepper is trying to get a point defense creep on. He's got one Cerberus turret in place, but that has just gone down thanks to either a TAC missile or a long-range T2 mobile missile, one or the two. That causes him some problems. Another Cerberus turret is down, but Ember is advancing. He's got the gun upgrade on his commander. Look at the rate of fire on that sucker. And he's just shrugging off all that damage from that Cerberus turret. It's like it's not even there. He couldn't give a monkey's. And coupled with a few Zooeys in the area, and now his Thams, he takes out that PD with no difficulties whatsoever. Sergeant Pepper now bringing in some reinforcements he had further up. We've also got a T2 PD, or a T1 PD going down, sorry, from Depon, but he's rethought that and started to build one slightly further back. Meanwhile, Ember is just going to town on all of the forces combined of Sergeant Pepper and Depon. It's like it's not even there. It's just carving his way through these units, backed up with his own. This is a very nasty looking Seraphim commander right now. And Sergeant Pepper down to around 5,000 HP, backing up rather quickly. I'm just going to knock that down to normal running speed because Ember is pushing very hard indeed. We have some T2 units on the ground, but oh my goodness. System came in to try and alleviate the pressure, but Sergeant Pepper was too far forward. Gets a nice little exclamation in chat from his teammate there. And at the same time, he was being overrun over here on the left-hand side as well. Now Depon needs to be a little bit careful, although Ember's quite low as well. He goes into the red around about 3,500 hit points. We've got a couple of rocket bots here from System, doing the best they can, but they're getting overcharged down to 2,000 hit points. If there's anything in the area, Ember could be going down as well. It looks like he could potentially have overextended down to 600 hit points. More coming in all the time. 150, boom! And Ember overextended, says whoops, and whoops indeed. Might you say you've just given away the advantage that you've just gained. Now we've got a little bit of a push on the left-hand side from Team 1 and Team 2. Stoz is moving south at great pace with this group of Mantis, going to start working on this factory from Sour Patch Kids. Sour Patch Kids has lost this group of units thanks to coverage from Chris's ACU and the T1 PD that was in place there, but now Sour Patch Kids is also making a move on the left-hand side, and if he can kill this large group of build capacity, if he can kill it, he could stop this formation of walls going down, which is all designed just to slow up his progress. And now those Mantis from Stoz are making their way into the main base of Team 2, heading in there at great speed. There is a Wagner here. He's a little bit outnumbered. Taking a long time for the Mantis to chew through those HP, but they're going to manage it and head on into the main base. And now there's a lot of exposed build capacity here, looking very vulnerable indeed. And Sour Patch Kids is nowhere to be seen. He's up fighting over on the left-hand side on the front. So he is going to lose a heck of a lot of engineers. We are getting some T2 units coming back in from System. He's doing the best he can. Finally, I think he's going to be able to mop up the last of those. We've also got some here from Depon as well. But now we've got a pretty heavy push coming in on the right-hand side from Danny. Lots of Mantis kind of heading right around the back on the right-hand side. There's a very exposed area here. Of course, Mantis not going to be able to cross the river. Could potentially pick up this if they head south. There's a T2 mass point there for System. It looks like that's where they're going, or at least a portion is going that way. They're well aware that, of course, there's going to be a mass point there, not necessarily knowing what tech it's going to be. But there's going to be a little bit of a break on the left-hand side. We've got T2 land tech now for Kriz. We've got an Ilshiva here and the T2 mobile missile launcher, just trying to keep this Mantis at range, but they've broken through. I assume they killed all the build capacity they could. Engineers coming in to grab some reclaim in the middle, getting swatted by Cerberus turrets. And then down here on the right as well, System's T2 mass extractor is looking in pretty significant jeopardy as they work through it. But they are slight danger, these Mantis. Got a couple of Wagners in play now from System, chewing through them as best they can. I think they're probably going to be able to pick up that mech though before they all go down. And Depon has alleviated pressure on this right-hand side now. Not looking like such a threat. These two mass points over here. Well, this one's already gone down due to fire from the ridge, I imagine. We've got a little bit of a firebase. Robo Danny is up here with his comm. He's got a shield down, working on some flak. Got a few Cerberus turrets in place. With a little bit of an onslaught now from Team 2, equipped with rocket bots, the hoplites, and some backup Mantis. For some reason, the Cerberus kind of focusing on the units down here. I think this is definitely the area he needs to be concerned with. Danny going to bug out. He's going to lose the shield gen on that forward firebase, and now that's looking slightly exposed. He's bringing in some of his own units to try and alleviate the pressure. Meanwhile, a run by on the left-hand side from Sour Patch Kids has made it right into the back of Team 1's base, or at least around the side of it. Could potentially do what we just saw Team 1 do to Team 2, move a few units back up here, but I think they're going to run out now of units because of that auto gun that has just gone down. Few shots there from the Sky Slammers, working on this huge bundle of interceptors and scout planes that have been hovering over here for Kriz. Also got now some jesters in the middle from Danny, working on the Mantis that is just kind of chilling on a coffee break, obviously, for Depon right in the middle. Very close proximity standoff, meanwhile, happening over here on the left between Sour Patch Kids, ACU, and Kriz over on the left-hand side, both sitting under shields, both with T2 PD in range, and both unable to make any significant advantage, or advance I should say, towards their opponent. The minute one goes down, that happens. So no movement looking like it's going to be happening there. Over on the left hand side, Danny has managed to reclaim this base, at least for the moment. Shields are blinking on and off as they take too much damage for them to resist, but Cerberus turrets still going strong, and eventually they managed to shoo those hoplites away out of range. I've got a renegade here. Sorry, no, not a renegade. That is a Seraphim. Kriz, it's a Thulu, or however you spell it. So a T2 Seraphim gunship with a whole lot of more of his buddies going straight after Sour Patch Kids. And this is all over, I think. He's got a few interceptors over in the area, but they're just going to be too far away. The shield's gone up. Could buy him a little bit of time, but there's too many gunships there, and he's going to go down. Bam! And he goes out of the game at minute 16. So Team 2 loses another member, and now System is making a little bit of a push in the middle. A bunch of his hoplites here together. He's taking some fire from gunships. Team 2's got to be careful now. They're going to be really struggling for air coverage. Obviously seeing Kriz go pretty hardcore air. Lots of gunships in the air. Lost a lot of gunships when Sour Patch Kid, his commander, went Nova. It would have been nice if he could have held on to a few of those, but obviously the priority is to make sure the commander goes down. But he's obviously still focusing on it. More gunships coming in all the time. This is going to give Team 1 excellent versatility on this map to go and strike where they please and cut off Team 2's resources. Things not looking good right now for Team 2. Just think if Ember hadn't made such an aggressive play down here after he'd taken out Sergeant Pepper, it could have been 4 against 2 at this point, but it was not to be. Danny still over here on the right hand side, not looking like he's in any immediate danger. Lots of Cerberus turrets under now what is double shield coverage, popping away as these incoming units from System try to put some damage on that base, but it doesn't look like it's going to have any success. And now more gunships coming in from Kriz, going to help to tidy that up. Now Stoz is having a go, moving south at great pace with a group of Mantis, but he's not going to get too far because Depon has made the transition to T3. He had enough Mantis to deal with it anyway, but he's got a brick in play, and that will stall anything that Team 1 have on the field at the moment. We've got a couple of hoplites heading south from Stoz to try and reinforce that position. If Depon marches any more of his T3 units up in that direction, that will be the end of that, so to speak. Got now a whole bunch of Corsairs from Danny heading south. Looks like they're on a bit of a snipe mission. Are there any exposed ACUs? Systems down here. Depon is in the water for the moment. Lots of gunships, and it's all going to come down to how much anti-air there is in the base, and at the moment it doesn't seem like there's any. Has he seen what's coming for him? He's on the move. He's going to try a little bit of micro to get out of the way. One pass takes him out of the game, dropping like flies on Team 2 right now. And of course all those gunships are still looking pretty good for Kriz. Not going to be able to get any fire on Depon. Going to head over here on the right hand side and focus in on some of the excess Mantis for Depon, who is now finds himself completely alone in this game. A little bit of a shame for him as well, just seeing that there are some bricks now on the field for System, or they would have been. It's all going to go pop now. There we go. And then there was 3 versus 1. Depon must be ruining the day he decided to start this game. Gunships coming in now, going to start working systematically on these outlying reaches of eco for Depon. I think this is going to be a feature of the next 5 or 10 minutes. We've got so much mobility with these gunships, they can afford to go around and just close Depon down. Actually been running at -1. Massive apologies, but it has allowed me to actually not miss that much stuff, which is never a bad thing, and I need all the help with that I can get. You must be proud of me now, says Kriz to Burr, or Ember. gunships wailing away on the actually going after wall sections. Slight misclick there. Now we've got a few Sky Slammers coming out of these land factories. I think they actually need to focus on those at all. These gunships would be much better deployed going after some of this eco, and we've actually got some decent anti-air out down here now for Depon. Lots of flak, so Jesters aren't going to have any joy here whatsoever. In fact, it's going to be very difficult for anything other than T3 gunships to get in here and do anything now. Even so, actually, that is quite a lot. We've got what looks like combination as well, T3s in there as well, so actually quite well covered in the main base from the air perspective. But in terms of map control, you've got Depon just sitting at this bottom section of the map, completely devoid. He's got his commander isolated down here. Obviously he's safe from air threats at the moment. You can see pinging going on at the mass points. Obviously Team 1 telling each other to go after these exposed mass points. There's no protection here in terms of air. And see what these guys are kind of looking at. We've got 113 mass for Depon, 99.75 for Robo, Danny, and Stoz. And Chris, though, sitting on... what's he on? Oh, he's on 78 as well. So it's so very difficult, obviously, with the reclaim to see what they're actually on. But to be fair, Depon is looking like he's in pretty good shape. He's got access to quite a lot of reclaim as well. I say pretty good shape, I mean good shape in terms of economy, not particularly good shape in terms of being vastly outnumbered and having no map control. But you say it's not over till it's over. Groups of Mantis heading down the right hand side now for Danny, streaming into the main base, but they're heading in single file into a nasty concave that includes the odd brick or two for Depon, and he's just clearing those up. Literally all he has to do is sneeze on this column of troops and they die. No difficulties whatsoever. One Medusa survives at the back. It's just going to be firing away. Sort of feel like Team 1 could end this at any time, but busy upgrading. We've got T3 down over here, going to be producing some siege tanks. That's fair. It's a tough nut to crack now. Deponi's base, he's got quite a lot of T1 PD down actually all around. We've got wall section T1 PD around here. We've got lots of flak and SAMs in the middle. Loads of T1 PD going down at the front. So it's not, you can't slight Team 1 for wanting to get all the stuff they can. We've got strap bombers out for Chris as well. Might actually be a nice option. Go around if they could take out all of this power. Pony would probably be insta-lost, but that's a lot of air factories that have just been queued up for Depon. How's he actually doing on expenditure? He's floating a little bit of mass, not using it all at the moment. But he's just going to sit in his base, and it seems that Team 1 are well aware of Deponi's location of his ACU, just having pinged it. We've actually got a bug going down here in the middle. Certainly got the eco to be doing that. The question is, will that get online in time? Siege tanks being produced over here on the left-hand side for Chris now. More strap bombers coming front. Looks like they're going to make a move as well. Heading in over the base of Depon. Going to drop a few bombs. Wisely going after the anti-air. That's gone down. The main body has at least. Next target of priority needs to be in here exactly where they're pinging. They have to get rid of that fusion. Coming in with gunships as well now. There's still a fair bit of flak in the area, but not so much on this left-hand side. What anti-air's left is over here on the right. Also getting a combined push coming in now from Stoz. Lots of hoplites advancing into 3 or 4 hero bricks who are holding the line at the front. More strap bombers coming in. Still focusing on the anti-air. Definitely need to get that fusion out. They're pinging it pretty ferociously to get the collateral damage. Will take out those hives, slow up his production even more. But look how well these bricks have done up at the front. Accumulation of numbers just swatted that little group from Stoz away. No joy there for him. Now they're going to work on all of the mass. A big group of Corsairs getting only one pass off, coming in on the right, going after the bug. Really, guys, hit the power. He's not going to be able to build anything on that if you kill the power. Focusing on the SAMs. But still, that fusion's alive. 2,000 hit points. Somehow he's still in this. Lots and lots of air factories down now, and all in production. So we're going to start seeing quite a lot of Deponi's interceptors in play soon. Let's slow this down and see what's going on in the base of Team 1, if anything. Very little activity there from Stoz. His ACU is away. Lots of build capacity for Kriz, working on that T3 air factory, trying to spit out as many strap bombers as he can. Over here on the right, Robodanny's chilling with his ACU, also working quite heavily on the air factory, trying to get that up to T3. And outrageously, we're actually seeing Deponi push out a little bit from his base. He's got a group of bricks here and a group of Mantis, although the Mantis will lose quite heavily to groups of Rhinos over here on the right. So a lot of Mantis up there on the left. But look how ballsy Kriz is being now. He's got a few siege tanks coming in from the left. I can't believe that ion reactor is still running. Getting some SAM launchers back in play now for Deponi, trying to give that a little bit more protective coverage. Some Ilshivers just chilling down here on the left, afraid to go in any further, of course, because of these bricks. They've taken down most, if not all, of those T1 PDs, just little carcasses of wall sections littered around the edges of Deponi's base at the moment, not affording any protection at all. Got a strap bomber out again for Kriz. It's actually painful. One strap bomb in there will end that power plant, and that will cause catastrophic, cataclysmic power failure in Deponi's base. So that would be an absolutely key structure to take out. He's trying to get that bug online. It's about the only thing that's going to be able to keep him in this. Very doubtful that's going to work anyway. We've got a few siege tanks now, have made their way in from the left-hand side for Kriz. He's backing them up with FAMs. Bricks are ignoring the T1 for the moment, focusing instead on those siege tanks. I do agree with that play. Once that's down, he can deal with those dams without any real difficulty, which is what he's going to do. More T1 coming in behind it. That's not going to be of any great use. A couple of bricks coming back to help defend. We've got a Monkey Lord that's gone up over here on the left-hand side from Stoz. That's what he's been working on at the front. Forces the bricks back into the water, having taken 3 or so out for very little loss of hit points. Meanwhile, another group of units coming in from the left-hand side. Bricks holding their ground. A little bit of micro could be employed here to keep them looking a little healthier, but they've done their job, forcing those units back. And still Deponi is alive, and that bug is actually half done now. It's kind of outrageous. I want this game to go on. I'd love to see Deponi do well, but I really want Team 1 to take that power plant out. It's on virtually nothing. Spy plane going overhead will alert them all to the progress on that bug if they weren't already aware of it. And Ilshivers actually making their way in around the back of Deponi's base, heading for the air factories. There's quite a lot of interceptors in the air now for Deponi. He's done a very nice job of getting back in this in terms of air coverage. But once again, groups of units massing, and the bricks in the water now being harassed by one solitary T2 torpedo bomber. But more strap bombers coming in now from Kriz. What are they going to prioritize? I think they would be crazy not to go after that power plant, which is what they've gone after. We'll see what that does to Deponi's power, and promptly starts to fall, and when that bar is empty, he's going to have real troubles. But the bug, he's managed to complete it. I don't believe it. Team 1 furiously pinging it. Depon now under fire whilst in the water. I don't know whether that's ground fire or not. He's trying to cover himself with the bug and his interceptors. Strap bomb is still alive, hovering over the top of Deponi's commander. Oh, takes a direct hit, getting a little bit of coverage from the water. He's down to 4,000 hit points. One of the strap bombers is down. The other's running away on 587 hit points, but he's not going to make it anywhere, getting taken out by the SAMs. But a Monkey Lord has made it into the outer outskirts of Deponi's base, that one we saw earlier. Thing is, there is a few ASFs in the air, but he's going to need more than that, I think, to deal with the bug, especially since there's some SAMs in play down here for Depon. Depon needs to get his bug over here, needs to take out this Monkey Lord that's advancing if he wants to keep anything intact from his main base. Deponi's down here with his commander building rapid quantities of shield gens, trying to afford himself what protection he can. He's got a little bit to worry about in terms of bricks and things over here, but I'm sure he could overcharge that without any real trouble. Monkey Lord destroying huge quantities of build capacity is finally going to go down, though, thanks to that bug. That Soul Ripper could not have been produced at a more timely time. Interceptors coming in now from Stos to try and deal with it. They're going to get involved with some of the interceptors from Depon. He's now bringing that bug over onto the right-hand side to kill groups of units from Danny that have come in from the top right-hand side. Chris saying that Depon is strong. I have to say, he's played an absolute blinder so far. This should have been over a long time ago, and so far I can only really see one mistake that Team 1 has made, and that's not going after that fusion earlier. That would not have allowed, or that would have prevented Depon from getting that Soul Ripper online, and now he has real flexibility in the air. He's got pretty good T1 air production going on, so he can spam up these interceptors from coverage. We have got quite a few interceptors out from, ASFs out from Kriz, which could cause him problems. He needs to be very careful with his application of that Soul Ripper, where he takes it and how much coverage he gives it. He's moving out now to afford him some protection, create some breathing room, and take out groups of engineers, some T1 units, and some siege tanks down here. But the ASFs come in to try and take a few hit points off that Soul Ripper. They come in for one pass and then kind of bug out. They don't want to take too many hits from these interceptors that are here to defend it. But another Monkey Lord from Stos heading south at great pace, and it looks potentially like Depon is moving in to intercept with the Soul Ripper. Very little that Monkey Lord can do to defend itself, but lots of ASFs in the air now for Team 1. Surely they've got enough to take this down. I think once that Soul Ripper goes down, that is going to be the end of the game. Depon surely can't come back from that. He's down to around 40,000 hit points and falling on that Soul Ripper. He's got quite a lot of interceptors in the area, though. It's pretty hard to tell. I need to slow this down to -1 into the red. 24,000 hit points. Large groups of units being pinged, I guess, from other members of Team 2 that haven't logged up yet. Nice rank of veterancy there. Keeps that Soul Ripper alive. And Team 1 rapidly running out of air coverage. That needs to be their focus more than anything right now, is get that Soul Ripper out of the air. What's he actually on in terms of veterancy? He's got 3 stars on that sucker. So that's some pretty nice regen. Still potentially 2 more stars to go, and that's a lot of build capacity up the top left. Chris could do a lot worse than to destruct all those engineers. He's going to hand free veterancy to this Soul Ripper, who looks like he might have just ranked up again. In comes the Soul Ripper, just nailing all of those engineers. Oh no. It's like the Blitz. That's not good at all. And look at that, 200 kills, well back up into the green. Oh my goodness, Ember very very upset about his team's performance. I might remind you, sir, that you went out first of all. It's all well and good criticizing other people, but you overextended. As a result, you're not here to help your team. And now that Soul Ripper is working on engineers from Danny. Is there anything going on? No, there's nothing going on down here at all, except for production of Monkey Lords now. Depon is well and truly safe. Team 1 is entirely concerned about what is happening with this Soul Ripper. It's just hovering over Cruz's base now, annihilating all of this build capacity, slowing up future production of ASFs, and enhancing that Soul Ripper's life expectancy by a factor of 10. Most successful Soul Ripper ever. 328 kills. That is disgusting. Hemba asking his teammates to make AA everywhere. I don't actually know. You know what? As outrageous as this sounds, but Depon could potentially have crippled them beyond repair. If he can stay in this, needs to potentially get back, I think, and deal with this Monkey Lord. Don't know. That's a tough call. Do you stay up here and keep harassing and try and take out this monkey with what you've got down here? He hasn't got much. He's got one T3 factory in place. He's got some T1 PD that's actually doing quite a bit of damage to that Monkey Lord as it walks past these wall sections, taking a lot of fire. There's T2 PGen there you could do with taking out. Soul Ripper not brought back. He's elected to keep it out there, but there's going to be another very timely experimental, I think, for Depon. This Monkey Lord from Stoz is heading south towards his comm at great speed, but just a handful of hit points left on the construction of that. Starts another one immediately. And now, under that shield coverage, I think Deponi's going to be okay. And what's going on up here? Soul Ripper still working on that base. And just nowhere near the hit points left for that Monkey Lord to be able to do anything about it. And still, Depon survives. Now, more T1 spam coming in from Danny. Going to offer that Monkey Lord potentially some free veterancy. And Team 1 can't believe it, judging by their exclamations in chat. Some very unhappy chappies indeed. A bunch of Sams just getting instant by that Soul Ripper, hovering over these two commanders who are cozying up in the water. Can't do anything about it at the moment. Continue working on that base. But I don't believe this. I cannot believe that Depon has turned this around potentially. 35-minute game. Could do with moving that Monkey Lord up and killing off these bricks. He's going to lose that T2 power plant. I actually don't think he cares at this point. At the moment, there just doesn't seem to be anything Team 1 can do about this Soul Ripper that's just sitting up here. No balls given. And just virtually taking out everything single-handedly, or basically has taken out everything single-handedly. We've got Stoz on land here. He's potentially vulnerable with his commander. Might be just about close enough to make it to water if that Soul Ripper comes for him. He's trying to get monkeys out as quickly as possible. Soul Ripper completely finished off Cruz's main base now. Once again, going to hover over those commanders. Can't get a direct firing solution on them, though. That monkey is now pushing out from Deponi's main base. Still, that T3 power plant is in play. How's he doing on power? He's got enough power, and he's got mass. He's actually doing okay on eco. He's not doing brilliantly. He's lost quite a few mass points. Could do with getting a few engineers, building some of those up. One brick, that is it over here on the right hand side for Danny, the only threat within miles of his base. And honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Team 1, I think, have lost this game after that amazing start. Indeed it is. Well, it's painful to watch for you, Ember. Personally, I'm really enjoying this one. Brick coming in from Danny. Going to take a little bit of extra fire, though. He might as well focus on these engineers. He's not going to get anything else done, really. He's actually going after that T2 power plant, which is a wise decision. Takes that down first. Definitely the right call there. cutting down those power, but that's it. There's no other offensive units down here at all for any of Team 1. And Danny has tried to get a few bangers into position. He's got quite a lot of them. It looks like 10 or so, but it's just bouncing off that Soul Ripper's shell, who's up to 530 kills. That is disgusting. Maximum veterancy, 50 hit points a second regen. What you gonna do? All of that T2 power in the main base has gone. Danny is looking quite spread out on the right hand side. It's obviously got a reasonable amount of stuff still, but very fragmented. Team 1, they've now been bisected by this Soul Ripper, completely cut off from one another. All of their commanders are in this tight portion of the map down here. But Monkey Lord on its way for Depon, heading straight up towards Stoz. Have they seen it? What is their actual coverage like? Now they've seen it, if they hadn't already, and that might explain why Stoz is on the move with his commander. I think potentially that Monkey Lord could get finished. There's a lot of Cerberus turrets on the ground. What's happened to that Soul Ripper? He's still kicking around in the middle. Doesn't want to lose that. Not with the amount of veterancy he's got. Going after the engineers. Wants to take out that Monkey Lord first. Doesn't want that to get online. I suggest, at any rate, goes after the power. Always a wise move. And the Cerberus turrets really does want to finish off that monkey. Doesn't want that going online. Come on. Oh, every time I think he's going to finish it off, he doesn't. It's at least taking it down to about the same amount of hit points he's got. Now it goes into the red. Bam! Down it goes. Monkey still operational for Depon. And now they're just feeding that monkey veterancy. I'm not really sure what Chris is doing there. Crazy fool. But holy shit, excuse my French, chicken has been, I've missed it, it's been under production obviously for a while, and it's made its way into Depon's main base. He's nearly finished that other Monkey Lord. Obviously the chicken though significantly stronger than a monkey. So I'm going to have to go to split screen really for the first time in this game to try and keep an eye on what's going on. It looks like that Soul Ripper is heading south. Monkey Lord now moving up into Cruz's forward base. There's not a great deal of PD in there. There looks to be about 3 or so. But the chicken is moving into the innards of Depon's base. Soul Ripper heading south. He's got actually a few T2 mobile flaks there for some help. But of course there's so much regen on that Soul Ripper, he's going to have problems. Team 1 are pinging that Monkey Lord to focus that chicken on it, and the Soul Ripper redirects to go and add a few and then decides to go back after the mobiles. Monkey Lord on the left hand side making contact, potentially has lost too many hit points I think, but they managed to deal with that chicken, and that could be the end of Team 1's challenge. Surely there's no way back in it now. Soul Ripper still alive, doesn't want to take unnecessary damage from that Ion Storm, needs to head out from that. And Monkey Lord still operational up here at the left, tearing his way through what's left of Team 1's base on the left-hand side. Chris, disgusted with himself, leaves the game, takes his ACU out of the water and away from Danny, not to give unnecessary damage away to his teammate. So I guess that's a nice thing to do, but you're still leaving him in the lurch, although there's not really anything he can do about it. And pop goes Chris's commander as he leaves in disgust. And Monkey Lord now heading top left-wise for Depon. This is just unreal. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but now I think it would be a miracle if Team 1 could win this. They seem to have nothing left, no strategy. Sort of build experimentals and try and get things done. That's the only strategy they've got. But it's not going to work, I don't think. The only thing that get it now is some outrageous strap bomb ground fire strike on Depon while he sits in the water. I think that's the only thing that's going to get anything done. But I don't see that happening. Two commanders that are left are chilling in the water. We've actually got attack missiles coming in from the left-hand, over to the left-hand side, sorry, going in. Nice little attack missile base launched at the front from Depon to speed things up, who actually hasn't bothered expanding his resourcing very much at all. I know he's lost fair bits of build capacity with these constant attacks he's been under. Soul Ripper balls out, just going to land on the beach in front of Danny. Now the Monkey Lord comes in, and of course torpedoes from the Monkey Lord will be able to force Danny out of the water. Danny now taking damage. Very little he can do, and it's not going to be long before they can take out Stoz either. Unbelievable turnaround. I'm very, very impressed, Depon. That's all I can say. Looked like it was all over when his teammates went out, and boom, Danny goes, and all that's left is Stoz. He had actually given all of his stuff over to Danny. I'm not sure what he was doing there, but that's all going to go pop now. Soul Ripper focuses in on a bunch of those units before they go down, and all that's left on the entire map for Team 1 is Stoz's commandos chilling in the water, and he's just going to stand there and wait for it. Unreal. Depon throws out the GG. Stoz just being a bit of a douche, circling around, popped his head above water obviously for a moment there. Allowed the Soul Ripper to get a few shots off. Surely it could ground fire. And now torpedo bombs coming in from Depon. Insult to injury. Let's speed this up a little bit because Stoz is just being a bit of a douche. Stoz unhappy with his teammates. To be honest, mate, I think it took all of you combined to lose this one. I feel really bad when I say things like that because all of these guys are so much better at this game than me, but it is quite a monumental turnaround, and Depon did very well indeed. Wow, what a game. What a game. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Like I say, it's going to be a gap from me till Monday as usual. I'm going to go away for Easter, and on Monday I will have some Easter related games or an Easter special for you guys. Thank you preemptively for Zoc, who's been trying to get that going. But in the meantime, guys, as always, stay well and stay safe, and have a very happy Easter. This is Gyle signing out.